Hello, everybody. Hopefully you can hear us. Let us know over there. Hi, Jeff. Hi, Alex. Hi, Ben. Hi, Brad.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. We are here for the Ubisoft, which is going to start pretty quickly here.
Yeah, a little under 8 minutes here.
I just had a crash, and hopefully everything's going to be fine. It's all going to be fine. We're going to get started. You know what? I'm just going to put the thing up here because it's got the countdown going on it so everybody can see that, and we can see where we are. How's everybody doing?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's interesting. Ubisoft got out. It feels like they have tried to get out multiple times ahead of this event to try to either distance it or pre-apologize for it in terms of it not addressing any of the
Allegations?
allegations.
So are they not going to say anything? They've said they will not say
They
anything?
put out a statement.
They said they will not say anything.
They put out a black text on white screenshot saying, "Hey, this thing's all pre-recorded, so we're not going to address it."
Yeah, definitely couldn't edit anything in. That's not
Definitely,
possible.
absolutely no.
Wow, that's just
going to
hang over this whole thing like a fucking cloud. Great.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they dismissed. Like people stepped down yesterday. They put out a press release. Was it like the head of Canada Studios, the head of HR stepped down,
but has not left the company.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a left the company thing.
What does that even mean?
It means that she's no longer the head of HR.
Okay. And
That's it. That's all that means.
Yeah, but it's still employed, and yeah. So whatever. We only know what we know, I guess, in this specific situation, and the allegations are pretty severe and sweeping, and seem to involve wide.
Yeah. And many,
pretty large swath of the company, right? And there's still ongoing investigations there, and I think them kind of trying to set this thing aside from that stuff that has been very much hanging over this company is like a shitty look.
Yeah, especially for
honestly,
Ubisoft, who usually gets out there for a lot of their games and does their statement of like, we are a very diverse team that makes a lot of this stuff and puts out those statements there. Jeff, you are a tad low. If there's any way to goose you a little bit, just compared to anybody else.
I can pump it up.
Oh, you pumped up the volume. That's you pumped it.
Pump it up.
Yeah.
How's this feel?
It feels good. It feels good to me.
Okay,
that's better.
Great. Okay.
Yeah, so that stinks because that's gonna people who just see this and not the statements, like me, I did not see any statements, are gonna wonder where the heck that stuff is or how it's being addressed.
I think even with the statement, I'm still left wondering, like, yeah, I mean, you're kind of even if this was preloaded into YouTube, like, hey, I don't know how to make video games, but I know a thing or two about putting videos on the internet, and how you could record a thing and then play it before your pre-recorded thing, and there's especially like so many things turn on a dime in production. The idea that they couldn't put a minute on the front of it or something.
Yeah, have Eve jump in there and just say something. It
makes me feel like Eve isn't equipped. Like it makes me wonder, like, who is actually equipped to give that statement. Then is Eve actually under investigation along with everyone else? I mean, surely like the people at this company that are, stepping down, being dismissed, like pretty high-ranking people that would be pretty high up on the totem pole. So at some point, like, if independent investigators are coming in and trying to figure out who knew what and when, then you start at the top, you go all the way up top to bottom, right? Like you're really going to look at it. So maybe a statement from him would seem hollow at this point, or
maybe
I don't know in the future. I don't know.
That was my first thought.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, but it's so sweeping
because he's named in some of that stuff, kind of, or like tangentially, I think.
Yeah, it's
like he's directly responsible for assembling a lot of that leadership team. So at the very least, he's culpable in putting some of these people in positions of power. But I mean, as far as like what his actual culpability is in the allegations, none of that is known at this point.
Yeah. It was more the way it was presented seemed more like he kind of looked the other way as long as business kept running.
Yeah.
This is what I saw.
And they've had aside from this stuff, which is terrible, they business wise have had a weird last few years too, with the takeover stuff and all of that other stuff too. So I wonder where this
they
puts
got clear
them.
of that, and then like a bunch of games have been delayed recently. Like the last couple times they've done earnings, it seems like have been focused on like, oh, none of those games are shipping, and all, by the way, Breakpoint, no one cared about Breakpoint.
Also Breakpoint, right? I should say, if you're watching this live with us, we're watching on the Twitch channel. You're going to see me go and adjust the volume once this thing starts. I'm going to mouse over. There's nothing special happening. No magic happening here. I'm literally capturing the Twitch thing. Yeah.
Their show, like they're doing their pre-show stuff. Yeah. They are still finding a way to put Steep in these things.
What?
Yeah.
Somebody over there likes Steep.
Yeah, it's okay, sure. So what are we gonna see? It'll be Assassins, it'll be Watch Dogs, Far Cry 6.
I think you nailed it. I think you got it.
I saw some guy, so Ubisoft has their like community superstar people or whatever, and who knows what they know and don't know, and someone was like, I hope it was like in response to one of the tweets about allegations, so always great. People going like, man, I hope they announce big games there. It's like, fuck God. And anyway, the implication from there was someone trying to say that Splinter Cell, maybe you would see a Sam Fisher somewhere along the way, which I don't know that I'd buy. But
I think I'm done predicting that Splinter Cell will ever appear anywhere anymore. If it shows up, it's a nice, happy surprise, I guess.
I think my predictions at this point are more around like I think that boat game is dead. That's my.
You're probably right.
Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones.
The Skull and Bones. Skull and Boats. That's maybe not a going concern or something.
It's been sent to Davy Jones' locker.
Right.
A Mania shooter, Mania World, Mania RPG. Planet Mania.
Quest Mania.
Quest Mania. Now. Yeah. Finally.
We're about a minute and a half here. I'd say probably about the 30-second mark. I'm gonna pump up the volume. Jam. Dance. Oh boy, my brain's a noodle right now.
Dance.
And then we'll just ride it in. What do you say to that?
I love it.
Sure.
All right. Hey, this guy. Who is this?
I don't know. They're showing TikToks now.
I don't know what's happening. Was that a game? Because that would be pretty. Was that Watch Dogs? Just hacking people's TikToks?
Yeah. I wish someone would hack my TikTok because I lost the login to it, and I ended up just uninstalling the app.
Is hacking your TikTok right now.
Great, thank you.
Hey, Rocksmith. Well, she's playing with her feet. That ain't. What is going on?
She's playing with her feet.
This is actually cool.
This
is actually kind of all right.
It might be cool. This ain't my thing. It's all right though. It's somebody's thing. I'm not going to step on your guitar.
Please step on my guitar.
No, I'm not going to step. I'm not going to step on your guitar. Here we go.
I need you to step on my guitar.
I'm going to put the volume up, and then here we go. Welcome to the Internet 3.0.
Right now. All right, guys, it is time for us to wrap up this pre-show.
Don't forget to stay tuned for our post-show featuring a deep dive into.
I'm going to leave it here. Folks in the chat can let me know if that's a suitable volume for them.
Enjoy Ubisoft Forward.
I guess the other thing going around is that Hyperscape is just going to go into open beta sometime at the conclusion of this, or we're going to say, hey, Hyperscape is back after 3 days of it not being around or whatever it was.
Okay, here we go.
This is Ubisoft. This is Ubisoft Forward. Explore our worlds.
Meet the devs. See the games.
Join us.
Hi everyone, I'm Neelam Kumar, and I'm very excited to be co-hosting the first Ubisoft Forward with the talented Yusuf Mageed. Today's show is all about getting up close and in-depth with all the exciting games we have in production here at Ubisoft.
I'm Yusuf, but there's no time to waste. So let's head straight for the streets of futuristic London and see what the hackers of DedSec are getting into.
Those wacky hackers.
Whackers. Nope. No.
I will be able to talk about this in about 45 minutes.
Okay. Over the last few weeks across London are not the work of several people as was originally believed, but the work of an individual. The criminal suspected to have links with the terrorist group DedSec.
Not actual gameplay. You will not knock candy bars off of convenience stores.
Sweets?
Yes, our sweets.
I'm sorry, are you guys on Twitch or YouTube? I am apparently way behind you guys.
We moved to Twitch.
I did not speak out because I was not a foreigner.
Wow. Invoking
Then
Holocaust poetry.
Came for the protesters. And I did not speak out because I was not a protester.
Yeah. So I mean, it doesn't say not actual gameplay anymore, so I assume this is actual gameplay, right?
Yeah, definitely.
No?
I did
Web browser.
Because I was not a journalist.
How did they not get this stuff right ever? You know?
I think it's because like they're trying to tell serious stories, and I think they get inside a bubble of like, no man, that's just how serious this story is. You have to go there, and then they go there in like the dumbest way possible and manage to say nothing along the way, right? I mean,
like, I'm not saying there's no one at that company who is smart enough to say, hey, maybe this is not a good idea. I'm saying that maybe the people who are in charge of these things are maybe not willing to listen when people say this is not a good idea.
Sure.
It's just they,
honestly, like I thought that I hope there's a real presentation for this game after this, because this is pointless. I'm hating this. Like as like a tone piece or whatever. Like this is nothing.
I kind of didn't mind it until they started with that poem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I can't take it seriously in the slightest.
That eventually they'd come for me.
Well,
There would be no one left to speak.
I'm not
for
sure
me.
this game is really that dead set on you taking it super seriously, though. I don't know.
I mean, that's how the last one was. Like, but I think
Yeah.
they did a better job of like tonally across the board, kind of showing.
what is that guy? Why is that guy freaking out in the controller? He's so angry.
We gotta get him. Who is he?
Right! Oh, nice! Where are we off to, sir?
It's fine. I'll show you the way.
Okay. Sorry, miss. Jesus! All right, so we're in a total mess now, so let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah, okay. That's kind of my response to all this is, yeah, okay.
And there's nothing more debilitating than that. This way, not to be able to do what you're passionate about.
After a long night, London is in chaos. The main arteries through the city are blocked. Hundreds of heavily armed Albion...
Well. Welcome to the Resistance. Here's a welcome gift for our new members.
But the disappearance of the criminal...
You could have told me it was a
Guy,
bloody
welcome to the Resistance.
party.
Just got a better vetting method. You're gonna get infiltrated.
A 43-year-old London taxi driver. He has no criminal record, but is currently believed to be a terrorist.
Oops.
People have been asked not to approach him. The authorities advise all residents...
What's up with his nostrils?
I'm Clint Hawking.
Clint has been a longtime creative force here at Ubisoft, and now he's bringing this vision to Watch Dogs Legion.
So yeah, what we just saw was an amazing short film by the director Alberto Mielgo that was inspired by Watch Dogs Legion and looks at the game and the universe and the characters through his incredible artistic vision and visual style.
The city needs a resistance.
Like the film, Watch Dogs Legion tells the story of ordinary heroes setting aside their differences in order to come together as a collective and to fight for a positive change. You can literally recruit and play anyone who you see in the open world.
Megaphone.
Profile people that are interesting to you. You help them with
6G
their
data
problem,
plan?
their
Oh,
origin.
shit. Just help me get some
That's how you know it's the future.
Gotta recruit somebody with 6G.
Leave it
They
to
can
us.
fucking
And that's
spit
how you
out
recruit
double
them into your
coronavirus.
team, and then they become the heroes of the game and the stars of your story.
And what are you doing in my flat? You with Albion?
Please, think more underground.
You with Albion?
I'm tickled, but think more underground.
What, DedSec? Yeah, right, and I'm Che Guevara. You're done.
And they make the story not only, unique to them, but unique to you as the player and personal to you because they're, heroes that you've chosen and invested in. What would I say to fans? I guess I'd say, take care of yourselves, stay safe. Welcome to the Resistance.
I love that Welcome to the Resistance is just a marketing tag.
Yep.
I mean, that legitimately giving me a stomachache.
Built on history.
Appropriate conclusion for that phrase, right?
Maybe I wouldn't be like in such a sigh mood with that stuff if they haven't gone out of their way to be like, we are apolitical, we don't do politics in our games.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Listen up.
Get all your units to move in and.
Or
lock
also, if
down
it wasn't
the
a
city.
product you were buying.
Right. My resistant
With
product.
London under attack by a
We made a short film
Down,
about the
get the resistance
product.
armband.
The government turns to a private military company called Albion to keep everyone safe. What could possibly go wrong? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nigel Cass, CEO of Albion. He's
It all just seems so quaint when you think about like what the last handful of months have looked like. Like you just look at this going, it's like an 80s teen romp in comparison to some of the fucking shit that's going on right now.
Which is a bummer because like I think the premise of this game of like an open world game where you can kind of become anyone is like pretty cool. Yeah,
It's
like,
I think
interesting to me.
as a game design exercise, like the idea of a game without a fixed protagonist, I think is pretty interesting.
Totally.
Like, can they pull it off? Like, can you make a good story out of pure procedurally generated
Be
characters?
sure and spread the word.
She and her goons are using the dark web to sell everything from party pills to people.
This microchip is scary, I know, but I got to keep tracks on my merchandise, don't I? You made me a slave.
You do not want to ruffle her feathers.
Yay! Yeah, I don't know.
With the city out on its arse, it now falls on you to build a resistance and take back London.
All right, everyone. Faces on, guns out.
Any of the brave Londoners you see walking the streets can be recruited into your team. Like him.
Anyone?
Her.
Anyone.
Or even
That's the same joke they had last time.
Yeah, no, they're really tickled by the fact that it can be anyone.
You could be that lady.
What?
Remember the lady we showed last year? You could still be that lady.
And that means breaking into Albion headquarters.
A guy with a
inside the Tower
mohawk
of
and an
London.
old lady working
All
together?
The hardy souls you
Impossible.
see here are people we have recruited from the streets of London. They all have unique abilities, and you're free to tackle this mission with whoever you like.
Got my eye.
That guy's unique ability is he has a really big wrench.
Get to work and let's never talk about this again.
I hope they never change costumes. You are now the construction worker guy
Like everyone in
forever.
DedSec, Arthur can hack pretty much whatever. But as a construction worker, he has a particular set of tools that make him handy.
Wait,
He
it
can
really
even pull his own
is.
power
I mean,
throw.
Special power is the other big wrench.
How good can he be if it took 7 shots with a wrench to knock a guy down?
Perfect for gate crashing, when you're not invited. And who needs a regular old gun when you have a bloody nail gun?
Oh, wow. Give Arthur a regular gun. Just give this man a gun.
Come on. I don't know. He seems to be doing fine.
Nail guns worse.
What is that thing?
It's the future. These are
Perhaps we can approach
future
this
nail
mission
guns.
differently.
Post-Brexit
Keep
nail
your distance.
guns.
We've got you covered. Amy is a drone expert,
What have we here?
a real tech connoisseur.
Hate spiders, but love this one.
What an adorable creepy crawler.
Also, like having
Let's class
their
the place
like
up.
super serious
drone
short
expert
film
does have
thing, and they're like,
unique ability to
"Oi,
summon their
what a
own drones.
creepy
This
crawler!
thing
I
is
want a
fast
goofball!"
and
Like trying to
stealthy.
play this stuff like super jokes. Just like this whole thing was really all over the place. But like, I guess if you
But
could
that's
play as
what
anybody,
Watch Dogs
that's the
is.
idea, right? Like that's
Yeah.
Well, Watch Dogs 2 was.
She could
It wasn't
also
all
hack
over the
enemy
place.
drones,
It was,
turning the
hey,
tide
we're
in her
kind of this
favor.
wacky teen hacker gang, but by the way, we put a bunch of
If you're
guns in
not
this
into
game
direct
too.
confrontation,
I
there
mean,
are
there
more
was
ways
some
than
like
one to get the
attempts
job done.
at seriousness in that game, though
Yes.
they were, I think, largely drowned out by the silliness. But that
Recruiting an
first
Albion
game,
officer like
the
Brielle
whole
here
thing
might
was
be
so
challenging.
dire in
No, the first
tone
game is
and
like
totally
get you
unearned.
inside
by comparison
restricted
to
Yeah.
some of the stuff
Albion
they did
areas.
afterwards, right?
Don't
But
mind me.
I just wonder if they're trying to like straddle more of a
However,
line with this
do anything
one.
suspicious, and she'll probably wind up with a bullet in the back of her head.
You've been approved for entry.
So the question is, you know, if there's like all these different ways to solve a mission, you can go loud, you can be stealth, whatever. Are any of them going to be good?
If you feel you must.
Or are they all going to be so similar to, like, not each other, but is it going to be the same thing kind of over and over again? And you're just like, well, I have one of 3 ways of doing this, and the third time you do it, you're just kind of bored of it.
I'm trying to think back to last E3 when I played like an hour of this or 45 minutes, and I can't remember anything I did.
Well, that seems to be enough evidence.
Yeah, I think that's the worry, right? Is if
We're
it's like
crashing Mary Kelly's
random
organ farming
protagonists, do the
operation
missions
and
all
putting a
feel
stop
really
to it.
generic or something?
Right.
Do the scenes just characters that you aren't even playing as engaging with other story characters, and you're like just the grunts on the ground doing the work or something like that's the worry.
I might be able to answer some of those questions in about
the man lives for his team.
half an hour-ish.
Okay.
And doesn't mind getting his hands dirty.
Oh my gosh.
Is this a Fratelli song, or does it just sound like one?
He does have a slight drinking.
You know, I don't actually want to know the answer to that. It's not. It could be a Fratelli song. It could be a cheap knockoff. They're basically the same thing.
You know what? Let's go with
I want to
something a bit
see
more
2021 no more Superman punches in video games.
Nope. Only Superman punches. The only combat move.
God damn it.
The new Street Fighter is just you have a Superman punch and a Hadouken.
Wow, they're just straight up using the song from John Wick in a scene that looks an awful lot like John Wick.
He's a professional
guy who
hitman.
looked kind of like Keanu. Because there was one of those NPCs that like kind of looked like Keanu.
This is literally a John Wick scene.
It's also kind of weird that they keep saying like, well, maybe you play as this character, and like they're showing things that are like totally different environments and area. Like, is this all meant to be the same mission?
No, it's probably
I
one of the
assume.
that, like, highlighted.
Yeah, no, right? Because it's
Done.
like I think the thing you want to see is just like, okay, well, if I'm not the construction worker here, then what do I do?
Not everyone in London is
German
a
suplex.
legendary assassin or a super spy, but everyone can be a hero.
Standing moonsaults, sure, why not? Maybe this game will be all right after all.
And build your resistance.
I mean, if the one thing they took from Saints Row is that people want to do wrestling moves when fighting, then sure, I'll grant them that.
Yeah. I think there's a ton of potential to the concept, but I just think the way they keep showing it is so all over
Plunging
the
the
place.
player into a living, breathing city,
October
teeming with
29th.
unique locales and characters, has always been a central pillar of the Watch Dogs series.
So what goes into building those worlds? Here's Amanda Munt to tell us more.
My name's Amanda Munt. I'm
They haven't
a
said anything
level
about their new
artist on
console
Watch Dogs
policy,
Legion
have they?
At Ubisoft Toronto.
Not that I'm aware of.
I thought they were. Are they not on
job
board for
in
the
video games because we
the Xbox
do get
thing,
the freedom to
Microsoft
That's
thing?
what I mean. I don't. That's what I mean.
pick
I don't
and
think they've come out and
choose
said
what
either way.
little details we want to depict.
Ubisoft has always
even
ample
have they even announced Watch Dogs
tell
as
the
a
stories
next
that we wanna
generation
tell in the
game? I
spaces
feel
that
like
we're
they haven't
assigned
even
to.
necessarily said that out loud, have
I
they?
have the capacity to
I guess
hide
not.
things and, like small little Easter eggs.
But I mean, that date is like
AC
right there.
Unity, there was a boat
That's got to be
somewhere in the
within
world
like
that was
a
covered in
week or two
cats.
of those boxes coming out, right?
Smart.
And then it happened again in Watch Dogs 2. And there may or may not be something in London that is a boat filled with cats in some capacity. So.
All
I was
right.
fortunate enough to go to E3 last year. Some of the
Showing
people that I was showing our demo
stuff
to were
from
from London.
E3
so
last
no
year
matter
is
where I
super
dropped in the
weird.
city, they'd go, oh my
It
god,
was
this
like-
feels like Camden. This,
They had a little
this
bit of the
feels
press
like
conference
Suffolk,
at the
this feels like
open. It was like,
Westminster.
yeah, man, yeah.
Remember
People are
crowds?
talking about
Yeah.
some detail that I've put into the world and they're excited about it. Like that feels so good as somebody who, builds these worlds with care.
What's the
I love it.
retro arcade machine box she has her webcam on? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out.
And now some news for Brawlhalla fans. In just a few weeks, you'll be able to battle it out with your favorite legends on iOS and Android devices.
Have they put in the Avatar in this game or something?
The Avatar,
Yeah.
like the
Some
Airbender.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Aren't there wrestlers in this game now?
Yeah.
Is this the one that they put wrestlers in?
It's got Hellboy. This game has like a really weird cast of characters now. They just kind of get whoever they can.
Do they straight up sell characters? Like, is that how they?
I don't know the model behind it.
I want to say, because I think the only time I looked into it was when wrestlers were coming to it, and I seem to remember those being for sale.
Is
Almost
Shovel
like a season pass or
is Shovel Knight in it?
No, I think he has an exclusive deal with Rivals Vader. Oh yeah, Finn and Jake.
Okay.
That's neat. It's on mobile and crossplay.
And now, Whether you need a Tom Clancy action fix on
I like
the
that
go,
they showed this
or wanna
pulled out
dive
shot.
into
Yeah, I
one
thought
of
you
those
were in a bigger
beloved
room.
fantasy franchises
That's
we've got you covered.
pull the camera back in.
God monster.
Has it?
Yeah,
It's
maybe
been
rephrase that. Maybe work on that on that first line.
Yeah, in parentheses, it's like for this Might and Magic game we put
maybe
out.
if you're Might and Magic.
Yeah. Is this the auto chess one?
Fake. 300 likes.
And all these exclusives. I forgot about my exclusive thing. When you get something for watching this, don't you? Somehow?
Yeah, but everyone in the chat was saying it's broken.
Great. I don't even know what it is.
This is Watch Dogs 2. Did they show this last year? This looks vaguely familiar.
Yeah.
But it looks familiar.
I kind of remember being like Team Fortress, and then
This is like the mobile. Is this the mobile Rainbow
Clancy
Six thing? Elite Squad.
Fancy on the move. Fancy on the Ritz.
Contact! Montaigne is down. Request air support. Target northeast rooftop.
Roger. Inbound, danger close.
I need an EMP deployed now.
EMP imminent.
damn it, Sam.
Get back in your cell.
Why are they rescuing the bad guy from Wildlands?
It's the Ubisoft crew. They gotta rescue all
Yeah.
their
Smash Brothers, but all Ubisoft characters.
Take this.
Don't make me regret this.
I want to see a rabid rollout.
What? All right.
A rabbit with sarin gas.
But it talks.
What
it
is
talks
that?
for real.
What is that game?
The Clanceverse.
That's a mobile shooter or
Five
mobile.
years
It's
since
a
Rainbow
mobile game
Six
of some
Siege
kind.
first launched, and the community has
They,
never
I
been stronger.
want to say they showed it
In
last year. It
celebration
kind of
of
all
this
got.
milestone, Ubisoft Montreal
It all
has
ran
put
together
together
last
a
year. It was like
special
that and
video to thank all the
Quarantine,
amazing
whatever else.
players
But I'm
and
pretty sure they showed
developers
that last
that
year.
have helped Siege become the game it is today.
Man, Siege is a weird game.
Siege is a weird game.
In December
It feels like maybe the best thing
2015, a small
Ubisoft has
team
going
released
for them.
Rainbow Six
Or one of
Siege,
the best. Like,
It's well
I'll tell you
supported
about
for sure.
Trackman. No.
a game built on a strong vision, creativity, competitiveness.
I remember
and
the
team
first time I
play.
played this game when they announced it, going in and being really blown away by just how much you could fuck up that tiny ass house. And that was the thing that they were pushing on. They're like, hey, this engine is usually made to build huge areas, but by only making this house, we can really make a crazy house that you can really tear up. And that stuff that came through.
But now with all the characters they have, it's like the abilities are so wild now.
Totally. Like, and I looked at that and said, like, this seems like it'll be awesome. And then it came out, and I was like, I don't like this game at all. Like, that aspect of the game seemed really
we
awesome.
also had our share of challenges.
But I just could never get into it.
Health that touches upon subject like matchmaking, connectivity, all those aspects.
It's entered
are
that tier of
absolutely
just like every time they announce
critical
updates
to
to
the
it, I look at it and
experience
just go like, man, this game is crazy.
Yeah.
Like when they like you
Through
look at
it
what
all,
like here's what this new operator
always
does,
driven
and
by
you just look at it and
you.
go like,
Our community.
okay,
And together,
all right, I guess I
we
really
grow
don't know what that
stronger.
game is anymore if that's what a new character does.
It is getting
There is no
Dota-esque
sequel plan, and we're here for the
in
next
a way
10
that there are
years,
so
so
many
expect more
characters and you need
in
to
your
know the
life for quite some
abilities and the counters
Right.
and the.
yeah.
Look at this.
It's gotten to that point of like, if you want to be a new player in this game, you have to, like Dota, you have to accept that you're going to lose so much for so long until you get a handle on like the basics and the heroes and stuff.
Ce jeu, il est autant le vôtre qu'il est le nôtre, nous, l'équipe de développement.
Now 60 million players strong. We're just getting started.
I agree with what that guy said.
From the devs that build the game to the community that plays it, thank you.
Sledge.
Check out this sick hammer.
Knock down walls.
If you haven't tried it yet, dive into our new Operation Steel Wave update available now and take Ace and Malusi out for a spin.
A few days ago, we introduced y'all to a brand new multiplayer shooter. Now, it's time to venture into the hyperscape.
Oh, now I know you're just in front of a little backdrop.
Yeah.
Ruined it.
It's not working for me anymore.
He's gonna pull out even more in that office. It's gonna be a fake backdrop, and they're in an even bigger building.
Just no walls and a hellscape behind him. There you go, Shoot Mania.
It's gonna be on Steam, I wonder.
What was that? A hack in the hyperscape. That's not supposed to be there. Let me get you all up to speed, okay? About 30 years ago, everything that we feared about our future started to come true.
Oh boy!
Thanks for tying your future VR game into fucking a bunch of vaguely realistic shit to make it fucking super fucking depressing. Idiots.
Why are the cows in VR?
In the crush of the megacities. But the people at Prisma changed everything.
Are the people of Prisma Templars? Like, at least, like, fucking just go all the way.
Yeah, I would like that actually a lot.
Because
Because they've already, it's canon that, like, oops, there's a fake game developer that are run by Templars.
Yeah,
In the
Ubisoft.
hyperscape, the biggest draw by far is Crown Rush. This is where anyone can become someone.
I feel like maybe the core lesson not enough people are taking from the success of Battlegrounds is that no one gives a shit why the Battle Royale is happening. It is the least important possible thing in the entire genre.
But I think also, like, you're looking at more developers going like, well, we have to find a reason to justify this existing, and then they cook up a visual aesthetic and then go like, well, why is this all cyber and fucking weird? And they go, oh, because it takes place in cyberspace. Well, what's in the real world then? And then they write like,
If you
it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It can just be an aesthetic. You can just let it be an aesthetic.
Things have been happening lately.
But then, like, if you have this, then you can have all the lore trailers when you introduce new characters.
Yeah,
and
like
then
Apex
people
has really
boost
gotten a lot
up
of
the
mileage out of that lore
cosmetics
trailer
and
stuff.
Disappearing from the real world.
Does Fortnite have a lore? Probably. I'm gonna say yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like when the
Yes.
map changes, it's major events that are tied to a greater thing.
Is Travis Scott canon?
Some of us are searching
Yeah.
for a
Well,
way
Thanos is. I don't know about Travis.
Some of us for
Alright.
a way out.
Looks like this is up now. The previous phase was not called an open beta, right?
No, it was a closed technical test. So the whole point is that
It just straight up says play open beta now.
Yeah, that was.
It's like you can just download it.
Yeah, that was kind of known.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm
I'm
just saying it
JC,
looks like they
creative
already flipped the
director on
switch.
Hyperscape.
JC's work on Far Cry Primal and multiple Prince of Persia titles has established him as a top creative here at Ubisoft.
For me, what's exciting is we started building it from scratch.
That had a real like reality show intro vibe.
It's really cool.
Hello,
I hope JC makes it to the final round.
The game takes place in 2054.
You know?
It's in the future where humanity has
With
grown
what it
a new
sounds like
starter.
some of those studios are like
okay,
these
fair
days.
One of the companies there.
Yeah,
They are
I'm
launching what's
googling
called
the name of
Hyperscape, which
everyone
is a
that comes
virtual
up
world,
just to
the
see.
internet of the
Oh,
future.
boy.
It's a place where everything converges. Within the virtual
internet
world,
of the
there is a
future.
battle royale that takes place in the virtual city of Neo Arcadia.
Yeah, I will try more of this game, but I
Then we also
didn't much care
introduce
for
a
it.
lot of new things. You get the opportunity to do parkour on the rooftops, to go into interiors where it's much more narrow, much more stressful. You get to go to the landmarks where there's
When a
more
French person says
opportunities
parkour,
to
it
get
sounds
cool
so
items,
cooler.
but also more
He means-
players.
it's 'cause
so
it's 'cause a
a
French person
risk-reward
means
kind
it.
of deal. We introduced the notion of hacks, special
Although he's
abilities that you
Canadian, I
can
guess.
pick up on the fly to adapt your
French
tactics. With hacks, you can do things like teleport yourself. You can wrap yourself into a ball
They said anything
and
about a
bounce
console
around the
version of this?
battlefield.
Yes,
So
but
a lot of
it's not.
abilities
I don't think it's
that
launching
let
today
you
or anything
have
like
fun,
that.
that are toys that you can play with. In finally, it's made as a spectacle.
Love abilities
so
that
all the
let me have
viewers
fun.
will be able to interact with the game on different levels through the Twitch extension.
If I die in Hyperscape, do I die in real
Every
life?
few minutes, there's
Yeah.
going to be a vote,
Oh, man.
and viewers
Finally.
will be able to decide what effect they want to affect the whole battle.
This was
So things
another
like
cool
changing
thing
the
about this
gravity, infinite ammo, or stuff
The
like that.
Twitch
So
stuff.
players, when
Yeah.
this happens, really have to adapt to
The first
all
time it
kinds of stuff
happened
that is
in
happening.
game, it did feel like the world was breaking in kind of a cool way. Like,
So
oh,
for me,
it
it's
did
really
like kind of tie
exciting
back into
because
that
right
VR
now,
thing.
as
It was
we
like,
speak,
Like
this is
the
game.
only time I
launching
saw
the
it,
open
it was
beta,
like,
and so
hey,
it's
everyone's
gonna
got
be
infinite
available
ammo for 30
for,
seconds.
free to
I'm
play
like,
for
oh,
all
okay.
PC players worldwide. And I really want to thank all the players, all the streamers, and all the viewers who participated in tech test and who will participate in the open beta. Here's a short glimpse of what you can expect.
Watch and learn how it's done. Perfecto. Showtime.
The time to kill in this demo is way lower than it is in the real game.
Let's show them what I'm made of.
So is it not this hectic in like in a full game?
Oh, it's very hectic, but the fights go on for a lot longer.
Yeah, you're not one-shotting people like they are here. It's not Call of Duty.
Well, wait until I get in. I will be one-shotted.
You know, I believe that.
Yeah. Free 30-tier battle pass. Maybe the future's not so bad after all.
The digital world of the Hyperscape gave our artists and developers
future, battle
incredible
passes
freedom
are
when it
free.
came to designing characters.
We survived the global
Production
pandemic.
manager Anna Maria
Yeah.
Muska
Decided to
is going
offer
to
it
take us behind the scenes.
That's what the cows brought to the table.
My name is Anna Maria Muska. I'm the production manager.
The government
for
has approved a
characters and
second
weapons on
stimulus
Hyperscape.
package. I'm proud to announce a free
We have paid
30-tier battle
an
pass.
exceptional amount of detail to our characters. We switch different outfits, different fashion statements, different tattoos, different materials until we see them as real individuals, as real people. So the second you pick a character, you see them in game, you understand what their motivations are and what drives them and what challenges them.
What?
This was the first lineup of
I
characters.
played this
This is our
game.
default base.
I don't
but
know if
Even
that's true.
starting from the hair down, everything has been meticulously thought of. Would this person actually like this type of
You know
outfit? Would
where
this
they're
person
from because they have a very
enjoy the
specific
type of
accent.
tattoos that
and
we're
that's
putting
how
on
they-
them? Will they
Just once I would
actually
love for
like
one of these companies
to
just to
be
come out and say,
in this
we just
spot?
threw them in whatever the fuck we had lying around,
season
whatever
we
assets we
plan
were
to
just we
produce
weren't
new
using. Here you
outfits
go.
for these characters.
Here's some cool
So
jackets we
hoping some
didn't
of our
use in
players
Watch
are
Dogs.
gonna
Have fun.
See the effort
And artists,
and
as they
maybe
have time,
correlate
will
some
generate a
of
bunch
the
of new skins,
accessories
and
to
if
what's
we
gonna
like them, we'll
happen
throw
in
them in the game for sale too, I
Yeah.
guess.
We're very
Plus the
excited
whatever
to see it in
dedicated
people's
effort to create new skins on a seasonal basis.
I feel like I'd much rather
Moving to
the
the
artists
next
just say
generation
like,
of gaming,
I didn't even read the lore
Ubisoft have
Bible,
been
I just want to
working
make cool
closely with
stuff.
console
I don't know
makers
what's going
to
on in this
take
game.
advantage of
Yeah,
all
what are we
the
doing? I don't know.
extraordinary capabilities these
I
new
made a
consoles
bunch
will
of outfits that look like
Now we have
popular
a special
recent
guest to
films.
tell us
Yeah,
a little more.
big collars.
Hey everyone.
Spencer's everywhere.
Phil Spencer from Xbox. With Watch Dogs Legion, Ubisoft is supporting smart
Can we
delivery.
get Phil a better mic?
So you will get the absolute best version of the game on any version of Xbox you're playing on. On Series X, you'll get to take advantage of the amazing work the team has done with DirectX ray tracing to create an absolutely immersive version of London like you've never seen before. Ubisoft has a unique ability to create immersive worlds, setting a new bar that continues to drive our industry forward. I'm a huge fan of Assassin's Creed. I love the time I've spent exploring the world in Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
You can tell
And I
from the
can't
shirt I'm
wait
wearing.
for you to see the gameplay
Hang on,
of
let me take the shirt
Assassin's
off.
Creed
I got-
Valhalla that's coming up now.
All right, we know you've been waiting to hear more about this game since it was announced back in April. And now it's time for a deep dive into the world of Vikings.
Is it bad that my reaction to that was, oh
I'm
god,
the
that was
producer of
April?
Assassin's Creed
Oh,
Valhalla.
no.
So a couple of weeks ago, we announced Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and the reaction from the fans was just amazing. The time period of Vikings is really, really inspiring. When we did
talk
our
more about
research,
this in about 15
we
minutes.
found that, they were not mindless barbarians. Vikings were actually farmers trying to find new lands for them to settle. And so they had really human motivations. So for us to have this opportunity to tell kind of the real story about Vikings and kind of separate ourselves from the myths and the folklore is really something that
to get to
drove
the
us
core
to
of the
make this
Viking
game.
experience.
The team went to Norway
Which is
and England
secret
to
cabals
take
of
the same
assassination
roads that
groups.
The Vikings did, to really experience what it meant to be a Viking at that time. And then leaving Norway, which is barren but majestic, and just
Like he was ready to say
coming
Norway
by
was
boat
asshole.
and see those rolling green hills full of sheep, full of life, is just this moment that most likely the Vikings felt as well. You need to see this land of opportunity. And this is exactly the feeling we want players to experience in this game. It is a personal adventure, you know, it is the story of Eivor, a Viking chieftain. Eivor is either a male or a female. You decide when you start the game. They will have to leave Norway to settle in England because you just can't live in Norway anymore. There's too much political pressure, no resources available. Obviously, in England, it's full of Anglo-Saxons and other people, and they don't really want you there. So you will have to fight your way there to kind of build your own settlement and see your clan prosper. Vikings were brutal warriors.
Shields!
And the fact that they were mastering a lot of weapons coming from the medieval times really inspired us to kind of revamp the fight system, to leverage the brutality and the intensity of Viking combat.
Thought it was gonna be farming.
Vikings
no, they're just
were not only
farmers
fighting
doing
face-to-face,
farming
they were
things.
masters of stealth and deception when needed. They used
Like in this
basically any
game,
sort of
when we
tactics they
needed
could
it.
use
Like,
to win
yeah.
the battle. So we want to portray the full range of combat that you can imagine coming from the Vikings.
Is the Animus even a thing in these games anymore, or is it just like pure historical
It has like this
murder?
mobile
We are very happy.
Yeah, like a
thing
tanning
that you
It's
can
literally
a
show the
portable
game
Animus.
We've all been working on. So please enjoy this deep dive into Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
We haven't seen gameplay before yet, right? This is first.
Not supposed to have.
Right.
In Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you will relive the epic saga of the Viking invasion of England. You play as Eivor, a Viking from Norway, who will lead his or her battle-hardened warriors across the North Sea to the British Isles. Eivor is driven by an ambitious goal: to build a thriving Norse settlement in a hostile land.
For the good of our clan, it is time we go a Viking. Today we raid, that tomorrow we may build.
England is a dark age tangle of broken kingdoms and warring dynasties, a land of opportunity and riches. As you prowl England's rivers by longship, you may raid locations you spot from the shoreline. Ground your ship and blow your horn to lead your raiding crew into battle.
I assume these are all bad guys.
They were just farming.
I'm a farmer!
They were just hanging out with their settlement, and you're like, hey, this is ours now.
We're gonna light it on fire and take it.
Your crew will assist
Don't worry,
you on
you'll
all
like
your
you'll hit
raids.
start and go into a
Fighting
menu
enemies.
and like just tab over 3 places and go down about 8,
doors.
and it'll just say,
And
"Ah, they were Templars."
Right, yes.
Whatever riches and resources
Everyone
you
I don't
pillage
like is a
may be used to
Templar.
develop your settlement, giving you access to useful services, better tools, and new settlers. At the heart of your settlement is the
I
Alliance
see a cat.
map.
I saw a cat too.
It will serve as a record
two
of the
cats.
Allies
Viking
you've
cat.
made, and a guide for future opportunities. The Viking Age was a time of warriors and legends. In Valhalla, you will find the largest variety of enemies ever assembled in an Assassin's Creed game.
Medium guy.
But not large enough that you won't see 3 of the same one at the same time.
That's right.
Some will coordinate with their allies for special attacks, while
What was
others
that?
will use nearby objects to their advantage, including the bodies of fallen warriors. To face these attacks, you must find and
I
exploit
feel like if
your
we were
opponent's
to go back
weaknesses
in
to
time
gain
and
the
show
upper
this
hand.
to us in like 2000, I
fight to your
don't know what, like
with a host of
9, and say this is what
brutal
Assassin's
combat.
Creed is going to become,
Snare them
it's
with a Viking
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Pummel them with throwing.
Whoa, Jesus.
Incapacitate them with the new stun system to keep them at a distance, or finish them off. Dual wield any 2 weapons
It
you
was already
wish
not
to
real
unleash a deadly
defense.
combination of attacks.
Yeah, but you couldn't beat people with their own
Customize your
shields
fighting
in those
style
other
as you
ones,
see
so,
fit,
you know.
and become a legendary Viking warrior.
As the enemies fight you one at a time.
They said, did
All
they say some will
combinations of
work
weapons
together,
are
some
available
will.
to dual
Yeah,
wield,
some will.
including 2 shields.
All right, that's good.
Not all situations call for violence. In
Because
this
farmers-
new land, a Viking must find a way to adapt.
What the hell did they learn on that trip?
As Eivor is not
It's people
you may need to outsmart
who gave them
challenges,
that tour.
avoiding unwanted attention in towns and bustling cities. Use Eivor's hood and cloak to blend with crowds and slip past watchful eyes, an unseen hunter among the people.
Until you fuck
capital
up and then
cities
just have to
and
murder
villages
everyone.
to the dense
Yep.
forests and rolling hills of England, exploration is vital to keeping yourself sharp. You must feed off the land if you hope to endure.
That was a bad shot.
Hunt and forage to
That's a
replenish your health and
big
fortify your
wolf.
equipment.
Yeah.
Wolf too big. Wolf too big.
Search pagan temples and Roman
Oh.
ruins for new activities and challenges to strengthen
cannot pet
yourself
the dog.
and your settlement.
A wolf should have had a big sword in its
Wealth
mouth.
collected is
Explore.
a really
The more
silly
England's
ass
secrets you will reveal.
piece of text to put on a screen.
Ravens, show no mercy!
But as you push deeper into England, the enemy will push back. In a series of climactic moments, Assassin's Creed Valhalla will feature massive assaults in which you will lead Eivor's army into battle against heavily guarded Saxon fortresses.
For honor.
We'll reclaim her.
For honor.
Today we fight for your land.
No, that's a different
Farmland.
franchise.
And tomorrow we rebuild.
For East Anglia.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will transport you to wondrous and haunted lands, inspired by Norse myths and England's pagan roots. It will challenge and surprise.
Thank you, man.
With unforgettable characters.
Remember that guy? Oh.
Thrilling triumphs and tragic losses, giving you the chance
Big horns.
to live your own Viking saga.
Sick knee strikes.
What was that? Did he stab it? Rockhart?
It was a Superman punch, but with a knife.
Get all the Superman punches out this year. Next year, they're saying.
It's a good move. It's a good move.
9th century England is truly unlike anything the franchise has seen before. Assassin's Creed Valhalla will release this holiday season on Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, PS4, PC, and Stadia.
Oh shit, we're in it. We're in it. Look at all those
Close to wrapping up
consoles.
today, but before we go, our CEO, Yves Guillemot, is here to share a few words.
I hope you will have enjoyed what you have seen today and that you will love playing these games. I'm proud of our teams for delivering an ambitious, broad, and creative lineup of games. And we haven't shown you everything yet. In fact, we have a lot more to come. So you will have another Ubisoft Forward to reveal even more about our upcoming games.
What?
But before ending this show, we have one more thing to share with you.
So is that him saying they're doing another one of these down the road?
I think that's exactly what he
That's
just
what he
said. It's like,
said.
we're going to do another one. Here's Far Cry 6.
Skull and Bones.
This is what Skull and Bones turned into?
Is this gonna be a movie? Or is this Far Cry? I forgot all about Far Cry. This must be Far Cry 6, right?
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. They said Giancarlo Esposito, so it's definitely Far Cry 6.
Okay.
This is just full-on cable prestige drama
Yeah.
TV show intro, right?
Yeah. This is the next season of True Detective.
I mean, it's been clear from the last few years of Ubisoft games that that's all anyone at this studio watches is prestige television.
Yeah, a lot of games would go in that direction. And like, it looks cool, but can't play it.
Yeah.
This is a weird way to announce that you've bought the Tropico franchise.
Pills are the same as bullets, if you think about it.
Whoa.
Now we're talking. Models.
Far Cry 6 takes place in a world of miniatures come to life.
Beautiful, amigo.
So this trailer leaked.
Perfect.
But didn't see it in English. So
I have something for you, Diego. Give me your hands.
Papa.
Now, the grenade is simple. It has 4 basic parts. The shell, which contains the explosive, the fuse, the handle, and of course, the pin.
What are you doing?
Breathe. The pin simply holds the handle in place. It is only when you let go that this grenade goes boom.
All right, peace.
Follow me. Now. I am El Presidente, which means that someday you will be El Presidente. And our people, they do not know how to be happy. They are torn apart by opinions, noise, indecision, strangled by their own freedoms. And even if you have love in your heart, even if you want what's best for them, if you only want to save them from themselves, they will hate you, Diego. Everything you say, do, believe, will be wrong.
So you think you play as Diego? Maybe like grown up a little bit or something?
It's possible. I don't know.
God, that would literally be 4 all over again, right?
Screams.
Like heir to political leadership of unstable country, coming back to country.
We'll say that is a very good-looking Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah, it is.
And give you this. So you tell me, are you evil?
Stick him in his pocket, kick him off the roof.
Are you a monster?
That's how you get the fast ending.
Yeah.
That's always at the beginning of a Far Cry.
Because our country is like this grenade, except it has 2 basic parts. Our people. And you must clutch them nice and tight, or we all go boom.
it's like the car he made.
Yeah.
I really
It's
think
like
like
car with the
You understand now. Brilliant.
Okay. That it?
And with that, we're wrapping up
Boy.
our first Ubisoft Forward.
having that Far Cry stuff leak really
Today, we've seen
Took some of the air out of that.
Assassin's Creed,
doesn't it?
the birth of a resistance in Watch Dogs Legion, the cyber chaos of Hyperscape, and the epic reveal of Far Cry's newest installment, along with so much more.
Remember, we'll be back later this year with another Ubisoft Forward filled with tons of game news and updates.
Thanks for joining us.
All right.
Don't do it on
Hey guys,
Sunday.
remember Beyond Good and Evil 2?
No.
I'm gonna put this up with us now, and then I want to ask someone on staff if they can talk about video games.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Ubisoft
I think I can maybe
Forward
talk about
post
some
show.
video
My
games.
name
The
is
embargo, I
Yusuf
believe,
McGee,
was
and
12:45
this is Assassin's
Pacific,
Creed
and we are
Valhalla.
past that, so I should be able to talk about what I played
All right.
of Watch Dogs, Legion, and Assassin's Creed, which were the two demos they had us look at last week through the virtual press event.
I'm gonna keep the gameplay up as it's going. I'll just mute it, and then yeah, tell me what you saw.
I mean, anyone got any questions they want to fire at me right away, or I
Sure.
can just sort of
Talk to me about-
briefly about what I played?
What is the combat like in Valhalla? Is it like Origins? Is it basically? You said, is there a stamina bar?
Yes, there is. There is a stamina bar. It felt so. Admittedly, I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima, which is a similar open world style game, but with a very different combat system. So I had some hard time kind of trying to getting back into the Assassin's Creed style, but it's the same sort of like weak and strong attack style with your main weapons, and then obviously you have your bow and all of that. And then you are kind of managing stamina as you are going through the battles, and basically trying not to just spam the attacks. So the sections they showed. There was a big battle in a castle. They showed that bit where you're like doing the battering ram thing, trying to get into one of the castles. And then I spent some time just kind of running around the open world, doing a few of like the other missions that are around as well. So it feels very much of the type of game that they made with Origins and Odyssey. They are expanding on some things and some mechanics, but like it has that same flavor to it for the most part. There's definitely more of that like choice-driven dialogue stuff in there, where certain, you'll be presented with dialogue options, and then characters will react a certain way depending on what you do. But it's hard to say what, like, nothing I saw like what the actual impact of that was. I have no idea.
Did you get any? Get any weapons or collectibles? It's a loot drop.
I think they just had specific weapons set up for the demo. So like I had a couple of axes, and then there was like the flail thing, which I used as well. But for the most part, it was just those weapons.
Did you get to, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Did you get to roam the world at all? Was it a canned demo where you could find and where you could go, or did you like actually get to explore and see how stuff's put together?
It was a limited exploration demo. So there was one region you were able to kind of run around anywhere. And so I ran around as much as I could, but like, you know, it was a limited amount of space. There were side objectives I found, like there was a random like supernatural boss fight type thing that I just kind of happened to stumble upon. There was that, I found one of those like rune things where you're trying to like line up the runes to solve like some kind of weird puzzle.
One of 24.
Yeah, and then I found like a bunch of like locked farmhouses where I didn't have keys to get into them, so I assumed that there was like wealth in there I could have collected if I wanted to.
Love to collect wealth.
But so I will say there was very little stealth of any kind in the stuff that I played, which is not to say that there won't be a plentiful amount of that. But most of what I played was big battle shit. And then the like there were a couple of places I ran in that demo where I probably could have snuck up on dudes and just like hidden bladed them, but I was not doing that well enough for them not to notice me. So I ended up just, you know, axing those guys like I was everyone else.
I feel like that's like the last couple of Assassin's Creed games, right? It's that style of just like it almost becomes, it's more of like, oh yeah, you can kind of stealth your way into this fort that you're trying to take over, or fort that you're trying to get into, or whatever. And then when it goes wrong, you just murder everybody because whatever.
Yeah. I'd say the difference here is that at least in the one big castle thing that I did, it was not even really presented to me as, oh, you could try to approach this with stealth. Like they literally say, oh, you should probably go get your boat and then have your war party help you with this. Because if you don't, it's going to be a hell of a lot harder. Now, I'm sure that there are sections where like you can't just roll up with a full boat full of Vikings to take that on. But like the stuff that I saw seemed very much geared toward, here's your big Viking battles like you saw on the TV show.
Right.
Were you able, you said you were kind of mostly in big group battles, but was there anything that indicated that you could use your wrist blade for a timed parry? Did you encounter that at all?
I didn't see anything with that. There was a boss fight at the end of the big castle raid thing where if you sneak up on him, you can do like a stealth attack with the blade. I don't think that that kills him in one hit, but you can take a bunch of health off of him before the fight even starts if you do that.
Yeah, I thought I saw them kind of getting out there saying they were trying to roll some pre-origin stuff back into Assassin's Creed with the wrist blade and one-hit kills and being able to parry with it. Just wondering if how that manifests.
I'm sure that's a possibility, but like I just didn't see it in the demo that I played.
Yeah, did it seem dramatically different than the past couple of games? Like I feel like I'm looking at when they're showing the gameplay here, like it kind of seems like that style of Assassin's Creed game in a different setting. Obviously like light changes around the edges to shuffle things up, but it seems like it's very much in that mold.
It did not feel like I'd say that with the stamina stuff and kind of the way that the combat and the gear and all that stuff is built, it does feel very much of a kind. Like there's some evolutions here and there, but like it did not feel like radically different from what the last two were. The one thing I will say is that I did try as both man and woman Ivor, and the difference in voice performances is nowhere near as pronounced as it was in Odyssey. It's not like, oh, hey, here's your good voice performance from the woman, and here's your fucking Steve Reeves ass Greek hero in the male one. They sounded very similar in terms of like delivery and performance. So the character is like, it feels like much more aligned.
Okay.
Did you get any sense, and sometimes they keep this pretty close to their vest, but any sense of what the overall twist in the story might be? How this ties into anything Assassin's Creed-ish, or
you mean like the future lore and
anything aside from general Vikings going to establish colonies in England that might say this is an Assassin's Creed game? I mean, it seems like Ivor rolls up with a wrist blade. Like why?
That they don't explain, and not in the demo that I played. Like there was absolutely no touching on anything that might involve Layla, Second Civilization, even why Ivor is or could be an assassin. Like none of that stuff was touched on.
Does Ivor have all their fingers?
I didn't look that closely.
Okay. Interesting.
And then I also played Watch Dogs Legion. If you want to talk about that.
Yeah. So what do you think?
It's interesting. I definitely got some of that jarring tonal stuff from playing it as much as from watching the stuff that they showed today. Refresh my memory, it's been long enough since I played Watch Dogs 2 that I don't completely remember. Did Watch Dogs 2 have a sassy AI that kind of ran or like was a central focal point of the team?
You had a robot buddy.
Yeah, the Daft Punk guy.
Yeah. Right.
But that was like a person wearing a weird helmet.
That was a person.
Yeah. So
there was a mission where you built a robot, I think, but it didn't last. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you've straight up got a sassy AI who is like your big, eye in the sky computer helper that sort of like gets on the voice chat with everyone and then starts cracking wise along with everyone else. And that is, I mean, I guess that's the only direction this could have gone in, but I will say that was definitely like, why are we doing this when I was playing it? But so, yeah, the demo I played of that was similar. It was just like the open world. Here's a section of missions that you can play, but you can kind of go anywhere within this region of London and do, other side stuff you want. Technically, I could have recruited anyone that was on the playing field when I was playing. But in order to recruit people, you have to do recruitment missions for them.
Right.
And each person, like when you scan them with your cell phone, there's like a rating that sort of shows up. It's like, how likely are they to want to join you? So if the rating is low, you may have to do more than one mission for them. It may take a while to recruit them. Whereas someone that's like doesn't have like the thumbs down or whatever is much easier. You can usually do it in one shot. So I did a couple of those.
Yeah, like what are those? Are those like find my wallet, or are they like erase my profile from a database? Like
so the one I remember is I recruited one of the spy characters. So all the characters have archetypes. Like it's usually kind of profession based. And the one thing I don't know, the person giving the demo was not a developer. It was someone who was a professional demoist. And yeah, that's what they called them.
Okay.
And so they're not on the dev team. They couldn't answer every single question I had. And one of the questions I had was, what is the variety of voice actors here? Because we obviously have these archetypes that are pretty varied, but like how many voice actors could there possibly be for those archetypes? And they didn't have the answer for that. So I don't know. But I will say that every character on my team, including the couple that I recruited during the demo, had a different voice actor. So that much it was apparent. The one mission I did for the spy was literally I had to break into one of the various evil organizations that you're dealing with. I had to break into one of their offices for them because they had discovered some sort of cache of data or weapons or whatever it was, and I had to go destroy it for them. And when I did that, they were willing to join up. And so that was it. Like, and my understanding is that there is a wide variety of those missions. I don't know how wide that variety is or how long it will take for those things to start repeating.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. I mean, it can't be infinite, right? So it's got to.
Yeah, I would think not. And so certain missions that I did, certain members of the team were more suited for them. Like there was one on a construction site, so I went and got my friendly construction worker to do that one. There was another one where I had to specifically recruit one of the people that worked for the PMC that had sort of taken over policing in London. And once you got her on board, she kind of goes through, and does her whole. Now that mission had to be done stealthily. You can't do everything by just going loud all the time. Okay. So.
What happened? Is it like a fail state if you went loud?
Yeah, as soon as they notice you and you are discovered, like it's very similar to like how in GTA, remember Vinny, in the thing where like we were in the prison and guards would just notice immediately, like, hey, you shouldn't be here. It was like that. Like after a certain point, they recognize you and they're like, you're not supposed to be here.
Do you feel like you had enough character? Like, did you have a large enough pool of characters to choose from, or did you have like the one person who was stealthy and you just kind of played through like that?
So it depends. Like that mission in particular asked me to require one specific character who was like a story-based person that you bring into the team. And she is specifically presented to you as someone who is dissatisfied with her job and the situation she's in, so she's willing to join up. Like the construction worker thing, I could have recruited technically, I think, any construction worker that I found, and he would have been able to handle it the same way.
Mm-hmm. Did you get any sense of like downstream effects of your actions manifesting later in the game? Like I think they gave an example last year when I played a demo of it that was something along the lines of like, oh, one of the security guards that you might beat up and knock out during one mission will end up in the hospital later. And like maybe he'll wake up and start having second thoughts about who he's aligned with, and then maybe he's more ripe to recruit or something like that. Did they talk about that at all?
That was not really laid out during the demo that I played. I will say that when you have a character get injured or arrested, they become unavailable for a set amount of time. And so you are not able to use them until that timer runs down. But that was all I saw in relation to that stuff.
Did you like it? What you played?
Yeah. I mean, it's tonally... Again, like the super Children of Men fucking, backstory draped across this these chucklehead fucking hackers and their wacky AI antics, like the whole time felt a little fucking weird. But like if you liked Watch Dogs 2 and how it played, it feels very much in that same neighborhood. Like it's a lot of the here's a lot of weird drone shit you can do. Here's you're constantly hacking cell phones and doing wacky shit with that. The driving is fine. Like there's the mechanics of it and the feel of it are very Watch Dogs 2. It's just that they've put this like several coats of oppression on top of it that just make those two things kind of juxtapose against one another feel maybe a little odder than 2 did, at least to me.
Yeah, I think the oddness in 2 was the oddness that a lot of games have, where it's just like, oh, this became this became all guns all the time,
right,
or whatever.
I barely used guns in this demo, I will say. There were a couple of times when I did, when there was just no other option. But I tried every single encounter, like, to at least start not using guns.
Yeah.
And I was able to get through at least a decent chunk of it that way. And also, like, a bunch of people have, like, non-lethal weapons, which, you know, I mean, there's still, like, people getting electrocuted or whatever, but, like, you know, you're not necessarily just running around and just, like, shooting people constantly.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how I tried to play Watch Dogs 2, is just because it just fit the tone of the characters and the types of characters. The way they wrote those characters is that's just how it came across, is that they would not necessarily be just murdering people left and right. Whereas this one, yeah, I think this one feels a little more murky, because you've got this, like, maybe it's just part of the way they presented it, but like all the stuff they showed with, like, their little short film and all this other stuff just looks like you got to be killing people left and right, and it's like, now here's a wacky old lady, like this. Yeah, I don't know, that stuff seems corny. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to really gauge. I mean, I will say that in the limited time that I played, I had some fun, and, like, the whole, like you said, using, you know, essentially a procedurally generated protagonist, you know, or series of protagonists is, like, it does feel novel. I don't know how long that's going to last. Like, it's if the variety of archetypes runs out at a certain point, like, it may just start to get old. I don't know. But at least from what they showed in the few hours that I was able to play, it seemed like, you know, there is at least room for a fair amount of variety.
Oh, cool. I want to try this Assassin's Creed, but I don't know. I've been watching a lot of this footage as you've been explaining Watch Dogs, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I just some of the combat looks
like a Viking skin for the Assassin's Creed game that they've been making for the past couple now. Like, I'm just looking at it and going, like, yeah, this looks fine. Like, I don't have anything bad to say about it per se. I just look at it and go, like, yeah, no, okay. They're making another one of those, and those other games were very well received, and I liked them fine, but eventually fell off of them because I was just like, man, these games are super fucking long too, and I
think it's kind of a bummer that they're going back to the you can be a male or female protagonist thing, because playing through both of those new Origins and Odyssey, Origins was really cool because of Bayek. Like, I feel like he carried a lot of that game. I feel like they crafted this game around this new character. And then Odyssey, it was like everyone who played that game said that the dude character was, like, way worse than the female character, and you just get a similar story with some little tweaks here and there. I don't know. I'd rather have, like, here is your protagonist, here is a story crafted around them. I don't know. I think it's a weird, like, not a cop out. I don't know. It just feels artificially. It feels flat.
I mean, they're now open world sandbox games, right? They are just kind of open world, run around. When you played it, did you have any ability to pick your own missions, or did they kind of just put you on rails from one mission to the next? Or were you able to kind of get on I assume a boat or horse and just pick where you wanted to go?
What's that?
Were you able to pick where you wanted to?
You chunked out for me for a second. Sorry, what was that?
So in the demo you played, were you able to pick where you wanted to go, like mission-wise, or did they kind of just set you on a path?
Well, like I said, it was one region, and you could kind of, once you did the big mission, which was sort of like this big castle raid, like, you could kind of just run around in the world in that section for as long as you wanted. And the boat stuff, so I assumed there's probably bigger open water stuff, but what I did was almost exclusively limited to rivers. So I was just taking the longboat up and down the rivers to different areas. But I did get to one area that looked like kind of a shoreline, and there were a lot of seals floating around and just hanging around on an island. So there you go.
No horses? Were you able to ride a horse?
I did have a horse. I did ride my horse. It's a horse.
Like a horse. Of course. Yeah. Well, anything else you want to say about Ubisoft in terms of their lineup here? There was that Hack Hazelight. What's the Haze
Hyperscape?
Hyperscape, which is available in some kind of beta form right now on PC, right? They said jump in there. There was the Tom Clancy's what is that one called? Tom Clancy Heroes?
Elite
Tom
Squad.
Clancy's Phone Friends.
Elite Squad.
Yeah. which I'm still not quite sure what that actual game is. It's a mobile game. I'm not sure if it's like action or if it's more strategy or whatever. I completely forget.
And trying to think what else they showed.
They said that at their thing last year or not. I don't remember, and I feel like the thing they showed was so like tone piece, story driven, like character, whatever, that I did not come away from that going like it's a shooter, it's a top down strategy game. Like it could be anything. So it's Clash of Clans, but with Voss. Yeah,
they mentioned Siege, but didn't really get into too much there.
And they said that there's new stuff out, I think, today, like a couple characters and stuff like that. But there, there's not much to say other than, hey, this game's 5 years old and it's still going strong. So
yeah,
good on them, I guess.
And then they said they'll show more at some point.
Yeah, later this year they'll have more. I don't know. Yeah, I guess like if the Far Cry stuff hadn't leaked, maybe that would be a little more exciting, but maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, that's sort of like look at that, and I think saying that hey, it looks like prestige television. Yeah, that really it kind of drives it home, the aesthetic of modern AAA games, I guess. But
I mean, the bigger thing for me is like I need to see something dramatically new from that franchise.
Exactly.
They didn't show anything in that vein.
I feel like you watch that trailer and you can immediately see how all of the Far Cry shit just maps right onto that and that setting. And you just go like, okay, yeah, like it's very easy to see them not doing a lot of new stuff with that sort of thing. And yeah, if they do, that could be cool. But man, I feel like it's been the past 3 or 4 Far Cry games that we've been like, man, sure would be nice if they did something else, something grander in, like changed more about this franchise, because Far Cry 3 was so cool and 4 was fine. And they did, Primal and 5 and whatever the other thing they did after 5.
Oh yeah,
Blood Dragon,
the purple one.
The
post-apocalyptic
one.
The post ending. Yeah,
that was very purple.
Yeah, the box art was at least. I didn't play it.
What do I know about purple?
Exactly. You mean the blue one? Yeah.
Yeah, the blue. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I would love to see them like do a better job of reinvigorating Far Cry than I think they have over the past however many years it's been since Far Cry 3 or 4. But man, nothing in that trailer.
So I would say
inspiring in that way, I guess. You look at it and go like, all right, yeah, maybe there's more here, but
I think that's
kind of
easily
be the same thing.
I think that's kind of how I feel about the what they showed here is pretty safe, pretty expected, nothing too surprising.
Good on them for showing a bunch of Assassin's Creed gameplay coming out of that Microsoft thing where they were like, you're gonna get your first look at gameplay of Assassin's Creed, and how underwhelming that was for them to be like, okay, we're going to do our 45-minute thing and then have a bunch of more gameplay. Sorry.
Yeah. I will say I maybe understand why they were reluctant to show that stuff as early as they did. I mean, granted, game's still in development, plenty of stuff that still needs to work out between now and release, but the AC demo was a little rougher around the edges than the Watch Dogs. Both had bugs, but like I felt like the AC one, I saw stuff kind of not working quite right a little more often.
Okay. Yeah.
Did anything about Assassins leap out? I mean, we've seen a bunch of video of it here, but did anything about playing it leap out to you as like, this seems like a next generation video game? This seems like it's designed for new hardware type stuff.
Here's the problem with that is that I was playing those demos over Parsec, which while that technology is totally functional and is far better, honestly, than I thought it would be, there's still way too much like artifacting and other things like showing up in the stream footage that I'm playing. I mean, I went back and I looked at some of the footage that they gave us afterward of like, what was running. They were recording directly from the machine and it looks nice, but would I say it looks so dramatically different that it feels next gen? Not from that demo that I played.
And Parsec right now is built to run on PCs, so it's doubt very seriously that was running on like some next gen dev kit.
No, I'm not.
I'm sure that was PC
It's
hardware.
The PC version would be roughly, in the same ballpark as those versions.
And for people who don't know, Parsec is the streaming thing you use to remote play the game. It's not like a platform.
Yeah,
it's a service.
You can sign up for it right now and use it with whatever. Like people, I think, use it to play Smash Brothers over the internet.
Yes,
so,
but you cannot sign up and play Valhalla right now. That is, it is not a Stadia like platform.
No.
It was just the tech they were using to make the demos fly.
I wonder if they were originally going to use Stadia, but after Gods and Monsters leaked or whatever, if they were like, nope, fuck that.
Oh, God, I totally forgot about Gods and Monsters. I thought that would be here.
Yeah, so did everyone else. Yeah, that's hey, they've got another Ubisoft forward. I feel like that's if they had just had one and packed everything into it, granted, they probably don't have all that stuff ready, but I feel like that maybe we would have a different tone about this presentation if it were not the 3 games that you kind of knew about already between them already being announced or leaking or whatever it was. It was just like, here's the 3 big segments buoyed by whatever mobile and just live game stuff they've got. Yeah, that's...
Well, we got unannounced next Ubisoft Forward, but then before that, probably before that is Microsoft's thing coming up in what, like
that's
2 weeks,
a week and a half.
Week and a half. So we'll check that out. I think that's on a Thursday, not a Sunday, and so we'll figure that out and move stuff around. Thanks everybody for joining us on Sunday here. Take some time to look at these video games from Ubisoft, and well, I think we should wrap it up. I'm gonna wrap it up.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah,
okay. Sounds great.
Thanks everybody.
Let's wrap it up.
Thanks everybody for watching. If you're watching from home, enjoy your weekend. If you're on a weekend, and we'll be back with Giant Bomb stuff come Monday. The fun never stops. That's what they say here at Giant Bomb.
That is what they say. Wealth collected.
That's right. Come back and watch some more stuff on Monday, which is tomorrow. And we'll be back soon. Thanks everybody. Bye.